Today we're going to be talking about power versus force because I see so many different people trying to force their way through life when they don't realize that we come equipped with internal power to get us through things. You don't have to be so forceful. You don't have to face all of the resistance and the struggle and the strain in life to do the same things that other people are getting done with ease. You see what I'm saying? Let's talk about it. When you try to force things in life, it requires effort and real pressure, and you just face all sorts of resistance. But when you allow the natural power within you, your God given power to work through you, things get a little easier. You don't have to struggle and strain so much. And this usually depends on the type of state that you're in. Because two people could do the same task and have two wildly different experiences with it. One could be in a high state, one could be in a low state. But that same task will look completely different to the both of them. Let's just say you're in the low state, something like you're feeling angry or guilty or just shame for whatever reason. Whatever you're doing in that moment, you're going to have the weight of those emotions attached to it. So it's not just that you're doing this task in the moment. You're doing this task and it's fueled and weighed down by all the negative emotions that you're putting onto it. So the lens that you're looking at this event through is not what it actually is. Versus, let's say you're moving from a higher state, something like acceptance or love. That lens of life that you're looking through in that moment when you're all loving and accepting of things is vastly different than when you were angry and shameful. The same task in front of you will look completely different. You'll be able to get through it way quicker, like quicker actual time, but then the time that it feels like in your mind, like things would just be going by at a rate that you're like, wait, that's all we had to do? Huh. It usually feels like way more than this. Yeah, because you're usually looking through a different lens. You're usually seeing it through different eyes. Of course, it'll seem longer. There's no one way to look at life. Like people see things through their traumas and their perceptions and their assumptions. Like people don't just see life for what it is. It's like we all attach a little extra onto it. But just think if the things that you are attaching onto it were coming from a higher state instead of from a lower state. That'll make whatever you're viewing in life, whether it's working on a job, trying to develop new habits, trying to build relationships, whatever it is, it'll be way easier if you're doing it from a place of love instead of a place of shame, from a place of acceptance and willingness, as opposed to guilt and apathy, just things on that lower end of the frequency. So using your willpower, which in this case is force, ironically, but using that willpower to just brute force your way through life, it can work. You can get things done. I'm not going to say that people can't live that way because people can live 90, 100 years living this way. However, they can get way more done with way less stress involved if they were to use power instead of that force. Power within you can just be as simple as your inner state. And you can change your inner state by changing the way that you're breathing. Shallow breathing into your chest, not really allowing it to go deep into your belly, into your diaphragm. This is telling your body that things aren't safe right now. We don't like what's going on. No need to be in a good mood. Let's stay right where we are, stressed and tense. Versus if you start deeply diaphragmatically breathing, get that breath deep, like try to aim it below your belly button. Just really get it down in there. Expand your diaphragm out. This sends signals to your body that everything is good right now. Your body will start thinking like, "Whoa, we were just tense, wasn't it? Wasn't it some type of danger? No, okay, I guess we weren't in danger. Never mind." And it'll calm the rest of your body down. The communication between the brain and the body is like only 20% is going from the brain to the body, and 80% is going from the body to the brain. So if you can shift how your body is feeling, it will shift the things that's communicating to your mind, ultimately making you get into a better mood, and it can help you get through things way easier without all of the resistance that you've been facing. This is the power versus force. You don't have to force your way through things. You can understand that within you there's a power that's waiting on you to use it. You don't have to just hate life. Things could get better for you. And you can be the person making things better. You don't have to put that power externally. You have it within you. You feel me? When you're working with force, that is eventually gonna, run out. Willpower and all of that, like just to come on, just one more. Like if you're in a negative state and you're just feeling like this is just a means to an end, and it probably won't kill me. It's okay for me to be in this lower negative state while I'm getting it done. Whatever. Like people who justify the things that they do for whatever reason, like they have reasons for it, but it doesn't have to be that way. You can do that same thing that you're doing, like I said, with a different lens on, like lens like glasses. Like you can be different, like visually seeing the whole thing differently just by being in a different state. When you're in a different state, you're kind of like a different person. Like you're viewing things differently. You've shifted the way that you feel about things, the way that you see things, and the way that you experience them just by shifting the state that you're in. So yeah, you're kind of like a different person in this moment. The things that were affecting you crazy before you shifted states, they're not like they're able to just, blow over right now. It's like, whatever. Things don't tend to get under your skin as much. So you're able to just continue working on whatever goals you have in mind. You can continue towards the mission instead of having to constantly stop because you're frustrated, you're annoyed. You got to snap on somebody who isn't understanding what you want them to understand. All of that goes out the window when you start regulating yourself on the inside first. Yeah, outside people and circumstances could suck, but just make sure you don't suck on the inside. Like you feel me? Make sure that you're good, and then the things on the outside will tend to, they'll match. They'll start to get good on their own in ways that you can't even think about. Like you can't figure out how to put this life together. It's bigger than you. If you stop forcing things and allow the power within you and the powers that be to work on you and work on your life, things will really shift. Intentionally breathe deep into your diaphragm. If you catch yourself breathing shallowly and like your chest is moving when you breathe instead of your belly moving, you don't have to stop, but it would be wise for you to because you're literally in this moment creating stress in your body. I know that's not what you want to do, but it's what's happening anytime you have shallow breaths. Let's deepen those breaths up and let's begin shifting our internal states. I am Brad, and this is LGTM Healing, where we get your mind right so you can go and get your money right. That's all for today, folks. You did